What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about The Thing with Feathers. It's that thing that has feathers. It doesn't have a name, so we're going to try to figure it out in this review. What is it? It's a movie. It actually was at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival. It's a film that hails from the UK, and it stars Benedict Bandersnatch, and he's back here as the father to two young boys in a movie about grief and despair. So I got an advanced copy of this. I got actually a pretty long advanced copy of it, so I ended up seeing it twice. First time was as presented without audio description, and I turned around and I was like, can I please have audio description, because I didn't really know what to do with this without audio description. It was one of those films where the elements of the film, I was like, I don't know. So I would not recommend watching this without audio description if you're blind or low vision, because I was there and I know it is not watchable. So please find this with accessibility wherever you can go. I think it'll have it. I did hear a UK audio description track, which is fine because I've heard plenty of UK tracks before, and there have been plenty of instances where the track from the UK has been used in America, and they haven't made another one. So I wasn't not surprised by that. I even mentioned the fact that I would even take the UK track if it existed, if that's what they're worried about. Is they're like, oh, we gotta make an American track for the American release. That's how British people talk, I think. I don't know. So I'm gonna try to step around some spoilers here and not totally give away the whole thing with feathers, but it kind of isn't that there's kind of like only like one twist in the third act. The rest of it I kind of have to discuss it at some part, so we're gonna go with moderate spoiler warning just in case. Inherently, I don't even usually do spoiler warnings, because anytime you click on a review or watch a trailer, you are accepting the fact that you will be spoiled with something. So, so when we're introduced to Cumberbatch, yes, I do know what his real name is, but you gotta play around, you gotta do it at least once. You gotta go, Crash Bandicoot or something at least once. So he plays a grieving father right from the beginning. His wife died and he's left with two young boys, and doesn't really know what to do, doesn't really know how to father, parent. And he is an artist, and he's working on designs, creature designs. And in his despair and in his grief, he's visited by a crow. So this is one of those films that manifests, instead of, letting something be simply subtextual, we're gonna actually manifest that into a thing. So there's a crow here. It's not quite like Tuesday, because this film definitely has more of a psychological thriller aspect to it that Tuesday lacked. Tuesday was a very different vibe, but you could compare it to that movie with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So so the first act of the movie is just sort of like set up. There are some people who come by. You learn who some of the other family and friends are checking in on him, making sure he's okay. And he's increasingly not, because of this bird, which oddly enough the kids can see too, because they'll reference stuff. They'll be like, there's a feather on my pillow. So it makes you go, is the crow real? You know, like, is this, am I losing my mind? So, and the film also plays with Cumberbatch starting to mimic some of the Crow himself. So it's like, well, is he turning into the Crow? Is he losing his mind? What is going on in this movie? So the second act is actually where the movie gets good because in the second act, so in the first act, I don't like the first act because the kids experience nothing. I mean, there are two kids there throughout the first third of the movie who seem like they don't know that they lost their mom. They just, like, grief zero. Grief level is zero. They're just like blazing through life, having pillow fights. You know, like they don't really talk about mommy. I miss my mom. Like, none of that. Um, for some reason, there's a transition, and it's weird too. I got a weird transition through the audio description through this. So they go away at one point and leave their dad in the house by himself, where of course things get weirder because it's just him and the Crow. And then they come back, and then it just becomes like chapter the boys, like, and so then we cut back in time, which shows the boys reflecting to what it was like to come home and have their dad tell them that their mother, but we kind of even truncate that sequence. It's one of the heavier sequences, but they even kind of cut away from that. This film is so afraid of showing these children grieving, and they want to make it like all on Cumberbatch. So finally we get into it, and you show the kids, and they're actually showing a little bit of emotional weight, which actually finally helps the film buoy itself, because otherwise it just feels, because they're so young. So it's not like one of those movies where you can say that, you know, Cumberbatch has been grieving for like 7 years or something like that. They're so young that, you know, there isn't much room here with these boys. So finally they've been gifted the opportunity to act and show some emotion, and I think it makes the film a lot better for it. So that's, I guess, one of the spoilers I need to talk about, because for the first third of the movie I was like, I don't understand what's happening. But I don't really ever think the film fully established itself very well at all. I felt like it was like waking up in someone else's apartment, but you've never been to that apartment before, and you don't know who any of these people are, and nobody introduces himself to you, and you're just trying to like figure it out. What I can say for the movie, The Thing with Feathers, is that it's also like finally, when you're done with whatever shenanigans are happening inside that apartment, and you leave having had like a decent time, considering you woke up very discombobulated, maybe had some good food, got got a number for somebody you're going to call later, set up a date, you know, that kind of thing. Like, somehow you walked out and you're like, that was fun, but how the fuck did I get there? So it kind of feels like this movie. So he's an artist, but they don't really do a great job of setting up his job, or why he's an artist, or what does he work for. He's got some comic books, but we don't really know if he's an established you know, uh author in and of his own right. Like, how good is he? Like, is he just somebody who, what is he working on? You know what I'm saying? What was his relationship to his wife? What were they like? What did she do? You know, what was their life like before anything? Like you're grasping at straws. You're basically given this thing, and he draws monsters, and then like suddenly he's visited by a monster, and it's very sort of like heavy-handed in that way, without giving you much context. All of these supporting characters that come in and out are, um, you would think would help pull at, but they kind of just give, I don't know, incidental backstory, like a little bit of like, oh, it's just, she used to love to do that. You know, they just, they give him somebody to talk to. He has a therapist that he goes to a couple of times. Um, but yeah, there's not much there in terms of that. It's mostly the way that this film is carried by Cumberbatch, who has to go through the ringer in terms of showing us grief and despair without much uh, connection to it, without us seeing much more than a couple of flashes of him finding his wife, sort of out of context, you know, um, and having that uh, that sadness overtake him, and then it manifests into this crow. There's some interesting stuff that happens with the crow. I don't need to tell you everything because I definitely want you to find out some stuff for yourself without spoiling. I think the crow is a missed opportunity in and of itself. It's, you know, there are creature effects here, so I think visually, it would be cool for sighted people who are like, oh, that might be fun. Let's go check this movie out. So if you're looking for something like that, there are like creature effects. It's described at some point that he looks like a half human, half crow thing. So I'm sure it looks gnarly and awesome. You have somebody whose job it is to sort of draw monsters. So I'm sure the thing with feathers looks more like a thing with feathers than he does a crow. So, but it's played by somebody and voiced by David Thewlis. Like there's an actor playing the role, and it's not even David Thewlis. Now Benedict has done mocap work before for anybody who isn't familiar with the Hobbit franchise, and I think allowing him the ability to do that and to do that voice and to do that work, a little bit more of the manifestation of your own grief. Maybe they were intentionally avoiding that, but I just thought it was a missed opportunity, especially considering that there are actors that probably would have played the crow and done the voice. Andy Serkis, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are there two people playing the crow? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You have a person who um, I I used to be able to see, and I can tell you that I saw the behind the scenes footage of what it took for Cumberbatch to bring to life a dragon in the Hobbit series. And he was into it. Like that dude was, and he did the voice, and it was some really excellent mocap work that I think we take for granted. Like, no, he's just doing a voice for the dragon. No, he got down there and actually performed and tried to pretend like he was a dragon. Like that's a real thing that he did. So, if David wasn't willing to do the performance, then why is he the voice? So I love David Thewlis. I think he is a great actor that's been around forever. It's amazing that his career survived Island of Dr. Moreau back in the day when he was just sort of starting to get up off the ground. And that movie was so awful, and he was like the lead of it. Um, and like when you really think about the plot, for anybody who's seen that movie, I'm so sorry, but he was the lead. And that movie, they could have blamed him for it and just been like, oh, no, this David guy, he's got to go. No more roles for you, sir. Clearly not the fault of Val Kilmer or Marlon Brando. It's got to be you. So, yeah, I don't know. So, having seen this movie twice, audio description was fine the second time around. I mean, I got everything that I needed to get out of it. I didn't feel like I didn't feel left wanting. And I think there are a lot of symbolism things going on with the crow, but I personally do not understand why the crow couldn't be played by Cumberbatch, and why somebody wouldn't want to take advantage of having that duality in the film and having him play both, or at bare minimum having one actor playing the crow. Like, anyway, because it's there are people who are willing to do it, You know, no matter how you're doing it, whether it's a person in 10 hours worth of makeup, or whether it's a person doing mocap work, you know, there are people who are willing to do that kind of stuff, and they're not unknown, or maybe they should become known. Maybe we should find somebody and platform them and give them the opportunity to land a great performance. I didn't like the two people one thing. I didn't. In this day and age, it feels lazy. It feels like something that we did like 30 years ago, when you know, you wanted to get like the really big name in there. So you let some poor stunt performer do the role, and then you cast some big name in its place doing the voice. I think we've moved on from that, and I think a lot of actors are really interested in doing the whole performance themselves. So, but it's dark, it's creepy, it's gothic. It has this really interesting approach to berating you for your despair, and wallowing in your, and moving through it and getting to the other side. And you know, will he be a better father because of this? All that kind of stuff. So it's a journey, and everything now is like flipping a coin. There's only heads or tails. There's only fresh and rotten. And as a tomato meter critic, that's what it's where you have to go. So there's enough here that I liked The Thing with Feathers. I don't know that everybody will, and I think it's a weird film to open at Thanksgiving. I would say the same thing about Hamnet, though. I'm not going to be like the guy who's like, and it's not even like weird in like the opening Thanksgiving at Thanksgiving, where you have a film that's just like weirdly violent, but that film was at least themed for Thanksgiving. Films about like dead family members at Thanksgiving are just weird to open at Thanksgiving. Like, that is, those are not, the family doesn't get together to go to the theater and be like, oh my God. So, yeah, I think you should check it out. But I kind of wish that this just has some tweaks done to it, because again, this is one of those things where it's like Cumberbatch is really good here because he's generally really good in everything. But I don't know that the film around him was quite as well cooked as it should have been. I wish we knew more about him. I wish we knew more about his wife. I wish we knew more about who they were before. I wish the kids didn't act like they had completely disassociated with reality for the first third of the movie, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, shit, we forgot to grieve. Oh, we got to do that now. And yeah, they walk back a little bit in time, but still, even once we catch up, they're like completely different kids than the first third of the movie. And choices. But even though I don't fully love the Crow's performance, it's a good performance from David Thewlis doing the voice work. I mean, he's appropriately salty and creepy at the same time. And Cumberbatch is great. He's excellent here. So get into this film. Get into The Thing About Feathers. I'm going to give it a 6.9 out of 10 and go fresh on this. I'm not going to like shove you into the theater, but yeah, I think you should see it. I think some people will get some stuff out of this. I don't think it's a hot ass mess. But could tweaks have been made? Absolutely. Would those tweaks have made the film better? I think so. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.